Fantastic Friday coaching with Queen A. Get on in here. We are going to be focusing on how to love yourself with clarity. Now, this is the first of many trainings that we will be doing here every Friday at 11 a.m. You can find me right here on YouTube. If you are looking for more clarity on how to overcome self doubt, more clarity on how to overcome your fears, just more clarity on how to build your confidence in general, this platform right here is for you, baby. Okay. For all my newcomers, I want to say, hey, make sure that y'all don't go nowhere. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube for all of your clarity needs. Let me introduce myself to you all. My name is Queen A. I am your clarity coach. I am your inspirator. No, I am your author of Clarity and Confidence book that you can find on Amazon. I am also a CEO of S&B Sense, which is my family's business. Today, we are going to topic I want to talk to you about. This week, we are wrapping up with loving yourself. Love is a intense feeling or deep admiration that we have for someone or something. The reason why I love to teach on this principle is because it's all about love when it comes to yourself. You have to have what? A deep admiration for yourself. You have to learn how to have a deep affection for yourself if you want to build clarity and you want to build your confidence. And, I love to touch on this subject because a lot of individuals just don't understand how to love on themselves. And for me, let me, like, for instance, I had a young lady that I was, coaching, but not really coaching so much. But I had went to New York. So if you don't know, I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I don't know where y'all watching it from, but drop it in the comments. Let Queen A know where y'all watching from. I love to know where y'all watching from. But if you don't know, like I said, I travel to New York a lot because I have a coach. And when I went to New York for one of our coaching events, I had ran across a young lady, and she was, seemed so sure of herself and so confident. And it was amazing to find out that she didn't have confidence in herself and she wanted to speak. And when we got to talking, she was just like, no, she didn't really have a lot of firm belief in herself. And that's what confidence is. And so one of the things I also learned was she didn't have that deep affection for herself, but she was showing it for everybody when we was out there in a coaching program. She showed deep love for me, for the coach, for everybody else. But when it came to herself, she didn't show it to herself. So one of the things that I was talking to her about. So Jesse Brown said, ever been to anywhere in Africa? No, I have not ever been anywhere in Africa. So if you're looking at my earrings, I had this young lady I used to work at when I was working at a 9 to 5. I was doing transmission parts, and this Jamaican lady went to Jamaica and she gifted me these earrings because she know I loves reggae and things of that nature. So that is where my earrings came from, Jesse. So I've never been to Africa, not ever, okay. But I do love the earrings. I do love them, and I do love my reggae and stuff. Okay, so for anybody's out there wondering, but when I was talking to this lady in New York, like I said, she didn't have that deep admiration for herself. And so as I'm talking to her and I'm dissecting, I'm just asking her, like, so one of the things I love to like do the mirror effect, as I like to call it, where we call it the flip switch. So as she's talking to me and pouring into me, I was just telling her, and I want you all to think about this too. Just what if the same thing that she said to me, she just flipped it and looked in the mirror and said it to herself about how proud of me she was, and how oh my God, you can do anything you want to do, and I could just see you being anywhere, you know. And I just asked her, what if you can just flip it and tell yourself that how in love you are? And she was like, well, you know, I don't feel that, but a lot of times I want y'all to understand what we think is what we tend to feel. So a lot of times we have to learn how to put the love in our mind before we even feel it. Learn how to have that deep affection, deep admiration before ourselves before we even feel it. Train your mind to feel it. Mm. That means, what if you can look in the mirror and you can say, you know what? I love myself. I'm so proud of you and everything that you're doing. And it's just little things you can be proud of. I want y'all to understand this. You don't have to focus on the big things when it comes to loving yourself. I teach focusing on the little things because it's the little things that count the most that a lot of people don't seem to tend to understand. So, what if you can look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm proud of you for getting out the bed today. If that's all, if you had a hard time getting out of bed in the AM, like for me, I was not an AM person. I was not. Okay. I always chose third shift because I didn't like getting up in the AM. So one of the things, one of the tools for me was to start training my brain to get up. But guess how I did that, y'all? I just had to get up. How you train yourself? I just got up. So what I would do is, and I would, you know, invite you all to do the same. Before I would get up, I would open my eyes and hit. And no lie, I'm telling you all. So I hate. So now I'm up to six. But before it didn't start with me getting up at six. Let me tell you, it started with me getting up at like eight. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up at eight because, like I said, I wasn't an AM person. There you go. Okay, so what I would do was I would sit there, and when my alarm would go off, I remember I used to get so angry. And this is part of how we train our mind to love ourselves, right? I used to get so mad when my alarm go off, like, oh my God. Like I just went to sleep. How many of y'all felt like that? How many of y'all feel like that when y'all alarm go off? Drop it in the chat. Let Queen A know. I know I ain't the only one felt like that when the alarm go off. So I can remember my alarm go off and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? I just don't feel like getting up. And so one of the things that I teach is that you are what you think, right? And it's a quote I have on my wall. So whether you think you can or think you can't, you are correct. So once I start really pausing, because if you know, one of the things I teach on is pausing, and I would lay in bed and I would pause and pay attention to the thoughts that came to my mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh, it's too early. And I would, stop it, cut it. Like, we're going to cut that out. So instead, what I would do is, okay, I would tell myself, you made it. You made it. It's 8 o'clock. Now, what are you going to choose to do? Are you going to choose to lay here or are you going to choose to get up? Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen that quickly for you all, but guess what it does when you ask yourself? Like, I used to ask myself, like, in my head, am I going to lay here or am I going to get up? Now, do I want to, pursue my dreams or not? And that's how it was for me. And it's even if you want a job or even if you want a relationship, this is how you train yourself to love yourself. You have to pause and ask yourself questions. Like I had to do. Am I gonna get up or am I not? And in that realm of me asking myself that, guess what I would do? I would be like, okay, if I don't get up, I start analyzing like, okay, now you said you want to get up at 8, but if I lay here now, right? If I lay here, did I really want to get up at 8? And do I really want to pursue my dreams? And do I really want to pursue my goals? And so I want to tell y'all we use that same mechanism when it comes to loving ourselves, right? So if you like one that lives like you don't really pay attention to yourself, you don't really acknowledge yourself, you don't really empathize for yourself. You have empathy for everybody else, but you don't empathize for yourself. One of the main things I challenge you to do is first, get quiet. Pay attention to the thoughts that's going on in your head. Why don't you love yourself? Why are you anxious? And a lot of people are like, I love myself. Okay, well, let's get even deeper. Why ain't you paying attention to yourself? Because, see, when we love ourselves, we pay attention to ourselves. So when we love ourselves, truly love ourselves, we pay attention to what our values is. We make choices off what our principles are that we're living by. So when you're out there and you're making decisions based on everybody else's needs and you're running around for everybody else and everything that's going on in your life is based off of everybody else's decisions, then I would simply challenge you to ask yourself, do you really love yourself? Because if you do really love yourself, sometimes a yes has to become a no. And we have to be comfortable with that. But in order for you to even understand what yeses need to become nos, you have to tap in and know what your principles and what your values are. And how do you do that? One of the main forms is to journal. That's why I love to teach journaling. So you know how a lot of people say when one door closes, another one opens? Well, Queen A teach that some of us, well, I'm gonna say 90% of us, we have too many doors open in our head. And the problem is we ain't closing none, you know. So, not forget one door closing. We ain't closing, like we got 50 doors closed. I mean open. So can you imagine having 50 doors open in your head and you only chose to close one? So now you still got 49 other thoughts going through your mind. So that's why I teach journaling, because it helps you close them 50 doors and narrow them down. Maybe you only got 10 on paper, and then it helps you get even deeper. Now you can pinpoint what to focus on and what not to. But if you ain't even paying attention to what's going on in your mind, how can you really know if you truly taking time to love yourself? How can you really take the time to know, are you living your dreams, or even take the time to even, understand what your values are? See, a lot of us, we can't love ourselves properly because we don't even know what we stand for. Because we ain't even took the time to ask ourselves, what do we stand for? Who are you? Especially in a world full of copycats, as I like to call it. We living in a world full of copycats. So in this world, I would simply ask you, who are you? I walked up to you, Queen A, if I walked up to you and I asked you, oh, that's, say, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? My name is I don't know, Lil Tuki, right? I know that's the name I go to, right? Lil Tuki. So, hey, I'm Lil Tuki. I say, hey, Lil Tuki, so tell me about yourself. Who are you? What are your values and principles, or what do you value? What are your goals? A lot of us will pause and we'll be like, uh, uh, right? Because we don't know what we value. We don't understand what our goals is. We truly don't even know what our principles are. My goals, right? My visions, my principles. I know all my principles align with confidence. Learning how to respect yourself, learning how to overcome failures, which I don't teach as failures. I teach failures as life lessons, because you've been failing since you was born. You didn't come out your mama womb just knowing how to crawl, right? Right? You didn't get on a bike for the first time and just like, you know what? I'm pedaling. Neither did you if you drive a car. But on the flip side, I also teach that you've been succeeding since you've been born, right? Because if you think about it, no, you didn't come out your mama womb crawling or things like that, but you kept on, failing, as they say, right? You kept learning. That's what I like to call it. And then okay, well, if I do my hand like this and my knees, I get a little balance. But we learned that because we had to analyze. So I want you to understand, when we doing these things with ourselves, we have to teach ourselves. A lot of us don't understand how to love ourselves because we like, why me? Why me? But I love how in my mom words, why not you? What if you said, why not me? That will open up the door for you to do so much more. And that will close the door in your mind of all the, what I can't do, and why me's, and why this, and why that. Instead of, okay, life happens to everybody. See, when we learn to truly love ourselves, we truly understand that life happens to everybody. They say life be life, and life truly happens. And I want to tell you, young to middle age entrepreneurs, right? If you're an aspiring entrepreneur, that's why you're here, right? You want to build your confidence with clarity. I want to tell you that life is going to life. Soon as you think you got extra money, that's when life is going to life. That's when that car gonna break down. That's when an extra bill gonna pop up or something may happen. Now you gotta spend money because life is going to life. So a lot of us can't love ourselves because that simple fact right there. We don't understand that. We think that life is going to be like, peaches and cream. No, life be lifing. And I need you to understand that life been lifing since you've been born. Since you came out your mama head trying to hold your head up, right? You was like this. They was like, hold that baby head up. But that's how long life been lifing. But if you don't understand this, then guess what? It don't matter. Your head it's gonna take you. That's why some babies raise their head and they sit up quicker than other babies. So we've been knowing since the beginning of time that some people learn faster than others. And that's another reason why some of us can't love ourselves because we in competition. We in competition. Oh, little Tuki got it faster than me. But I've been doing it longer than him. I don't understand how he got an award and I'm still back here. I don't understand why he booked up and I'm still. Well, maybe little Tuki took time to analyze what his true values, principles, and goals it was. Maybe little Tuki been consistently getting up when he's supposed to get up. Maybe little Tuki has been consistently networking. Maybe little Tuki has been consistently telling himself what he can do instead of focusing on what he can't. Maybe little Tuki ain't been paying you no attention because he's so worried about him. See, a lot of us can't love ourselves because we worried about what the world doing. We worried about what Facebook doing, what TikTok doing, what YouTube doing. But we ain't even silencing ourself to get in tune with self. Let me say that again. We ain't even silencing ourself to get in tune with self. So I want y'all to understand that's why we do this. And if you are a newcomer, if you are a young to middle age aspiring entrepreneur, and you want to build your confidence with clarity because you're tired of feeling like doubt, tired of feeling like a failure, tired of feeling like life just ain't been, working with you lately, if that's the way to say it. And this is what your face been looking like. But you are ready to move forward and you tired of living in the past. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Also, make sure you check out my free webinars that I do. I host free webinars. The link is in the description. Check out the free webinars. If you're tired of looking like this and you ready to be like, okay, yes. Because see, I went from having a gun put to my head 4 different times. I went from feeling like a failure. I went from feeling like, I didn't know where to go. Nobody loved me. I went from feeling like I didn't love me. Let me say that again. I went from feeling like I didn't love me because I truly didn't. I didn't understand how. And that's why I wanted to come on here because a lot of people just don't understand how. But I want you to know the first key to the how is silencing yourself. Silencing yourself. Let me get quiet. Let me sit back. Let me humble myself and get in tune with my thoughts. So when I'm talking about silencing yourself, I'm talking about getting in a quiet spot. I'm talking about getting away from everybody. I'm talking about turning the TV off. Turn the music down. Put that phone on, not do not disturb, because I don't believe in do not disturb, because I have you. So put that phone on silent. Vibrate. But not the ping. The ping does something to us as human beings, right? Ping. Oh, now we got to look at, let me see who. No. I need you to silence yourself. And if you're ready to move to the next step, because you like, because like I say, clarity loves speed. And you ready to move to the next step, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Pick up on these exercises that I be putting out here on a regular. Get some inspiration, get some motivation, gain some clarity, build your confidence. That is what this platform is about. So this platform is not about dogging nobody. We ain't disrespecting nobody over here. This platform is not about, oh, I'm trying to, do the challenge. And no, this is not that platform. We have enough of that. This platform is about uplifting you mentally and physically, and especially mentally. Because statistically, it shows that the more we are online, the less we have confidence in ourselves. Meaning, the more we are online, the more our mental is destroyed. So, to me, it ain't no mystery why I want to come on here and build confidence. No, it ain't no mystery. I'm doing this because I know it's needed out here. I know people is losing it out here. And I know my people need it. When I say my people is everybody. Black, blue, brown, I don't care. My people. So if that's what you're really looking for, you looking for a platform like that, join this, baby. Make sure you subscribe. Become a subscriber. And if not, if you like, what, Queen A, then that is fine. Trust me, I love you enough to let you go. That's what love is about. I love you enough to say it's okay. But when you love yourself, get in tune with yourself. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself in the mirror the same thing that you would tell your cousin if they was going through the same situation. Just look in the mirror and act like it was your cousin you was talking to. I can guarantee you will talk to you. You ain't gonna talk to them with you ain't gonna say, well, you can probably do it. Nah, you're gonna be excited, girl. You can be it. What you talking like that for? Stop dogging yourself. Stop, being a disappointment. You don't have so much empathy and excitement. And I need us to learn how to put that same empathy and excitement into self. And that's what I'm here for. That's what this channel is for. I also do Slapping with Truth, where I have a podcast called Slapping with Truth that's on this platform. So make sure y'all check out my podcast. I have guests coming over for all across the globe. It is a brand new podcast, and I need y'all help to push it and get it out there. And if you are a person that's like me, that's tired of all the negativity and you looking forward to some positive stuff out there, so things that's gonna keep you uplifted in this world full of copycats, this platform is for you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and click out this video, hit the subscribe button, and come back. All right. Before we get off of here, though, I want to make sure that y'all know I do a webinar, and it's coming up this Sunday. Is my webinar. It's the Clarity Over Chaos webinar. We will be focused on love, 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 love. No, we always focus on loving yourself, but we will be focused on confidence and fear. Right. I really want y'all to come out to this webinar. It's a 2-hour webinar. It is totally free. Totally free. Okay. And that is this Sunday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know where you are located at. I am in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. I would love to see you, though, no matter where you are. I would love to see you. The link is in the description of this video. So make sure that y'all check out the description of this video. Click on that link. It sends you to Eventbrite. Register for a ticket. It also gives you the option to feel free to donate if you would like to donate to the cause. I appreciate it. Either way. So I would love to see you there. That is the bottom line. All right. We pick and choose what we want to do. We choose what we want to spend our money on. We choose what we want to spend our time on. And no choice is always a choice because you have a choice. You have a choice to choose or not. That is a choice. You didn't think about it like that, did you? I know you didn't think about it like that, did you? No, you didn't think about it. No. But no choice is a choice. And so, like when I was going back, and I was telling the mom in New York earlier, and I was telling a story about how, I was asking her what if she twisted that and put that on herself. And right after that, me and her had a conversation, and I, went over a few of my principles. And she didn't even realize that the whole thing I had already had in the back of my mind was to get her to go live, because that's what she was not comfortable doing with herself, but she knew she needed to for her business. And within, I think it was like 15 minutes of talking to me, she was on live. She was a little nervous, but she went live, and just me and her just conversating on live. And she even said, she was like, she was like, I ain't had nobody do this. And within 15 minutes, she done got me on live. But that's because I'm a firm believer in you. And I don't know if y'all understand this, but energy really rubs off. I love pouring my energy into you all. I love pouring confidence into you all. I love feeding you all with positivity. I love it. And when I'm around, you pick up on it if you choose to allow it to flow to you. And so when I did that and she went live within 15 minutes, I was like, man, I didn't realize, let me tell you, I didn't realize I was that good. I was like, oh my gosh. But it really gave me pleasure in allowing her to overcome a fear of hers and allowed her to stop feeling like a failure. Now I see her and she's always live on Facebook and stuff. So uh, I love looking at her live and everything, because I can remember when she wasn't going live, and I can remember when she didn't believe in herself. But also, one thing I had came to learn was because she didn't understand what love was. Mm. So once she understood what love was, she understood how to pour it into herself. And that is the great thing that I want everybody to understand, is that it's about pouring into you. That is what this is about. I want to teach you how to give the same love that you give everybody else on TikTok, Facebook, your family, your friends, maybe even your children, your significant other, everybody. I want to teach you how to give that same love to yourself. Because once you give that same love to yourself, a lot of yeses will become a lot of no's. You're focused in your lane, and your lane only comprise of or consists of things that align with your principles and your values. And if not, it should be cut, cut, cut. All right. That's all I have. Make sure y'all check out the free webinar and Eventbrite. It's called Clarity Over Chaos, because that is what it's all about right here. You want to make sure that you have clarity, because without clarity, that's exactly what it is, chaos. Is you don't understand, you're confused, you don't know what's going on, because there is no clarity there. And with that, I am out. Make sure that you are subscribed to this Facebook page. You can also find me on, I said Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube page. Oh, let me give y'all some clarity before I leave. Rewind. No, let me give y'all some clarity. You can find me right here. Make sure y'all subscribe to this YouTube page. Also, if you want to check out my podcast, Stacking with Truth, make sure that y'all check out that. That is right here on YouTube as well. I drop episodes every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I am getting better. Yes, I am. If you would like to be a guest on my podcast and you would like to tell the world about how you remain confident throughout your journey, make sure you inbox me or comment on this video, and I'll make sure I reach out and send you the link to see if we are a great fit for each other, because everybody is not for me and I am not for everybody. And with that, if nobody else loves you, you know Queen A does. I will see y'all back right here next Friday. I'll be so many places. Next Friday, okay? And I just started doing this on YouTube. So every Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be here, okay? You can find me right here. I would love to have you here. Make sure you subscribe for more clarity. If nobody else loves you, Queen A does later. I'm out. Mwah.